button. Hi everybody, welcome. Hopefully you can all hear us. Let us know in chat if the sound is coming through, because you can see my lips are moving and obviously I'm trying to make some noise. So let us know in the chat. And yeah, if you're watching this on a replay, this is the pre-show. So we do about a 15-minute pre-show where we just iron out any bugs, get things sorted out, like audio levels and stuff like that. And then we'll get into the main show when it clicks to the hour, wherever you are. And yeah, we've got an interesting show this week. We're doing it on music inspiration. So I think all of us need some of that. If you don't, then maybe we need to ask you some questions. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what everyone sort of talks about, how they get inspiration, and hopefully we can all learn from each other. So that's the topic this week. We've got a full amount of everything for all the usual segments too. So that's going to be fun. So we've got a pretty big show to get through. And just a bit of housekeeping, just to let everybody know that there won't be a show next week. I've got children home for school holidays, so we will be taking a break for that Saturday. And I think the date is the 3rd of July, I think, if that's correct. If our calendar tells me no lies.
2nd, 3rd, yeah, 3rd of July.
So no show 3rd of July, sorry about that for people who look forward to it every week. But yeah, that one is booked out for me, unfortunately. But we should be back after that, no problems. And yeah, Darren's turned up. Darren, do you want to test your audio out?
1, 2, 1, 2.
Fantastic. Okay. Did anyone say that the sound is working? I'm trying to see in here if anyone actually says it is. I'm assuming it is because no one's yelled at us saying it's not. Okay, that looks like someone will say it's working eventually. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get my phone out, and we don't want that. Let's wait
Yeah, it was working when I was checking it out before, so.
Let's wait the habitual 10 seconds. Sounds good. There we go. Future World Machines was first. Beautiful. All right. I don't usually touch things here, so there shouldn't be any reason why things shouldn't work anyway, but that's fine. Yeah. How you guys been?
You know, Ranzee, that's tempting fate as well. Things happen. The dreaded lurgies come out in their own way.
Yeah, good on you, native VS. You would do something like that. You would just do it.
What's he said?
He just tell us that it's not working just to annoy everyone. Yes, looks like we've got a fairly decent crew coming on in, all the usual faces. It's good to see.
Aren't Wales playing today?
Wales, where's that?
Football.
I could never spell Wales. Sorry, that's a bad joke. Do you mean New South? Yeah. Is that the New South version that you're talking about there?
The New South. Well, they might be going south. No.
The New South Wales, where they say "G'day, mate." So yeah, if anyone's actually interested, we don't often sort of say this, but
oh, they're playing Denmark according to JX. Henrik says they're playing Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I've got a little video thing that I can show you guys while we're doing the pre-show. Let me see if I can find it. Is it in the meme section? Yeah, it is. Here it is. Which one do I use? I've got two here.
Oh.
All right, let's try this one.
Martin Taylor's saying his Digitact arrived today. Nice one, Martin. Have fun with that. You can work out how it works.
If everyone's ever wondering where I live, this is where I live. Here we go.
Oh, on the planet.
Like in the middle of the ocean. Well, so I live on here somewhere.
You kind of have to twist it around a bit. Like, so you guys are up the top there.
We all live in this little bit up here.
Yeah, and then you twist it right around, all the way around, and then there. I'm going to zoom in a bit. There it is there. Right, keep going. Keep going.
You're even exiled from the rest of Australia, aren't you?
Keep going. That's where I live. Let's actually have a bit of a look what it looks like using Google 3D Earth, whatever you call it. There we go. There's the lovely city of Perth. There you go. I might even show a little bit closer for you what it looks like. This was done a couple of years ago, so it might have a few more buildings, but there you go. It's situated on a beautiful river. There you go. That's where I live. So hope you enjoyed that. That filled a couple of minutes. Now let's see if we can get the social things working. Because I want to.
Ladyship's arrived.
Oh yes, hello, Lisa. Ladyship. Let's just flag any random comment. I'm just going to flag native VS because I can. And I need to find social there. And if I click on that, oh hey, it's working. Look at that. So we're gonna bring back the bubble again, the social bubble. Nothing like being in a social bubble.
I'm gonna scoff these.
Okay, clear the queue.
You must be addicted to those.
What do you got
I
there,
am
Darren?
addicted to them.
Hold it up to the camera.
Ah, them.
Oh, those again, squashies. Wow.
Yeah, got one.
We talked about doing like a pack, like we'd send each other like a pack of stuff from each.
That's a pity. You could have opened your mouth and gone straight in there, Andy.
Yeah, that would have been weird. Yeah, so because there's things that we've got here that you guys have never tasted if you've never been here, and I'm sure there's things you guys have got that I've never tasted. Where's me local pub? Says Inner City Toad. I'm not really a pub person. It's actually kind of weird. We have pubs and taverns and things like that here, but I've actually been in the UK quite a lot, and it's a cultural thing in the UK where a lot of people go to the pub. It's just that's what you guys do. Not as much here, but there is kind of
UK,
yeah. Probably the COVID's obviously killed it, but if you think back before then.
Well, before that as well.
Well, I mean, there are people that go to pubs, and it's still there. But I think, obviously, there's a lot of people that come from the UK that live here too. So that's probably them going to the pub. But yeah, it's not as big. So I don't really have a local pub. I guess technically my local pub would be what we would call the bottle shop, where we buy our, take home alcohol. So, because that's generally what we do. So generally what we do here in Australia is we probably do things like barbecues. That's probably more a thing. And it's not necessarily a barbecue, but it's kind of like we might go, or a picnic if you want to call it that. We'd probably go to someone's house, or we'd go to a park, and most of the parks where you're allowed to consume alcohol in. So it's pretty good, as long as you're not rowdy. As long as you don't get into a tiff. So it's kind of, that's probably more common. And yeah, usually for me, it's usually family dues, because I've got a big family. So we have a lot of birthdays, my children have lots of cousins. So it's a lot of that sort of stuff going on all year long. And then, us older guys, we just sort of find a corner somewhere in the house and have a beer and talk about moaning stuff. Our moans. What's the name of the track they race the V8s at? Says Sonic Link. In my city it's called Barbagello's. Yeah, that's a weird name. Barbagello's. Barbagello Raceway. It's actually a family. They own all these car dealerships here. There's a big car dealership family. They have like all the prestige cars like Ferraris and Lotus and all that sort of stuff. It's actually, the weather is actually pretty stable here. Like Sasquatch says, always helps when you can guarantee the weather. You can't really guarantee it, but like it's pretty stable. You would say that we probably get, I don't know, maybe 80%, 70, 80% of the year we'd have, sunshine. And but the thing is, when it rains here, it absolutely just comes down at like buckets loads. and we get like kind of flash floods quite a bit. So it's kind of, yeah, you don't really want to get caught in the rain here. You'll literally be soaked. There's other parts of the world you can sort of, you know, quickly run to your car and you just get a few drops on your shirt. Whereas when, you know, if you were trying to do that here, you would have a soaked shirt. You would just literally, not all the time, but most of the time when it rains, it does it really quickly and then it's done. And then you get blue sky again. It's crazy. That's just how it is. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame about the COVID, how it's wrecked the pubs. I really feel for it. I mean, obviously there's I'm not saying there's no pub culture in Australia. There definitely is. It's just not as you know, just about everyone does it like they do in the UK. It's probably, you know, maybe about a 50-60% sort of thing here. But the younger generation are still doing all that stuff, nightclubs, you know, that's what they do. When you get to my age, you probably don't want to waste your money in those places. They just, yeah, go home with a, I don't remember eating that attitude.
Might help if you didn't have the flipping mute on. So, yeah, you just want to go to a country pub somewhere and chill and have something to eat.
Yeah, it's more, I mean, I obviously being a family man, I've been, my oldest is about to turn 18, so that gives you an idea how long I've been a dad for. So it's been a long time since I've been in that sort of single person culture. But yeah.
I could recommend the Wheat Sheaf at Baslow, Darren. Is a good choice. It's got plenty of room, massive, great big garden. It's in a lovely place just by Chatsworth, and big car park. Probably wouldn't take you all that long to drive to from Manchester. So that would be my top tip: Wheat Sheaf at Baslow. And if anyone from the Wheat Sheaf at Baslow is listening to this, I'll accept some freebies. Thanks.
Martin Taylor. Hey, we can highlight his comment now. Oh, hang on.
We'll put that one down then.
Let's highlight his comment.
It is nice. You'll like it. If you don't like it, you can blame me.
Wait for this thing to update. Give it about 10 seconds. And we'll see Martin Taylor's comment. Come on. You going to do it or what? You're kidding me. Here we go. When I was in Oz, pubs shut midday on a Sunday, and that is actually correct. I don't know if it's still correct, like as of now, because I haven't been to a pub for a while. But yeah, last time I went to a pub, they did close early on Sundays. I don't know if it was midday, but it was definitely. You know, you wouldn't be able to stay, you know, late on a Sunday. That's for sure. Yes, interesting facts. Okay, I've got to get ready for the main show, so I'm just going to clear the queue. Okay, we've got that going. Just waiting for 1 more minute before I hit this button. Yeah. Sasquatch is saying that he's got a family that live in my city. Yeah. Mill Point. Yeah, Mill Point is a road which is near the river, the main river here. Okay, we're going to hit this button, and then after that, we're going to. Oh, actually, I better not hit that button, otherwise I'll get a copyright strike because Andy will know why. We're not supposed to be playing that sort of music. Let's see if we can.
Was that what you had on before we all?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's try this. Go. It's waiting for that clock to tick over. This will get you inspired. Well, hello. Welcome to another Saturday, as I always say every Saturday. Nice to have you here. We have made it. Yes, you've lived through the week and you've arrived at the other side of the pipe and you've emerged as another Saturday person. Well done. give yourself a pat on the back for that. That took effort, and sometimes it takes a little bit more effort than you actually feel like exerting. But if you're actually new and you're watching this for the first time, it's really nice to have you here. We talk about things like synths and drum machines and sequencers and that sort of nerdy music tech stuff. And this week, for something kind of interesting, we're going to be talking about music inspiration. Don't know if I'm going to be the person that's going to be inspiring you, because that would be a definite failure, that would be. But, we're going to share our experiences, and maybe you guys might learn something from it. If you're looking for inspiration, this may be something worthwhile watching. We don't usually get to our main topic until probably about an hour in the show, so do stick around. We have regular segments that we run every week. Those regular segments are things like Funny Side, we do a bit of news, we talk about some price scams and things like that, and we might even have the odd rant. So stick around, but before we get into the main segments, I thought I'd just quickly introduce the regulars on the show. I'm going to start with Andy this week. Andy, we'll just be quick with him. Andy's feeling a bit poorly.
Hello.
How's your week been, mate?
My week's just been an ordinary week, apart from feeling really awful since about Wednesday. The pollen count's gone sky higher, and I've just felt really bad, just really awful. My eyes are sticking together now. They're just sort of grim. Anyway, not done a lot with music, really. Not really felt up to it, but I've got me old tracks now uploaded onto Bandcamp. I've not yet click the go live button or thing with it that you have to do, because I've not put any artwork together, because everything I've tried to do for that point of view just always look rubbish. I'm really not very good at that sort of thing. It's something that's always been a problem, and apart from nicking somebody else's picture out. So if anybody out there wants to do a nice little design for me to stick on a collection of old tracks, just please get in touch. No, I'll take anything, because it's not my forte. So hopefully that will be up and ready to go fairly soon, and I'll give everyone a shout when it is, if anyone's interested in listening to my old noodlings.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. And we can play it here on the show, as long as there's no copyright infringing things.
No, it's all mine and copyright free. You won't ever be able to spot the Nirvana samples or anything like that. You just won't. They'll never spot them.
Oh, good. Well, that's something to look forward to, definitely. Nice to have you. Thanks for coming on, Andy. And we're going to say hello to Darren as well. Darren, how's your week been?
Hello. It's been okay. I suppose a bit like Andy, really. I mean, I suffer from hay fever, surprisingly. I'm allergic to grass.
Oh, God.
But
you
chose the wrong job there, Wally.
Yeah. I've always had it since I was little, so I'm sort of pretty much used to it, and I just sort of suffer it. Other than that, I have to apologise, a big apology to any subscriber or anyone following me. For anyone who watched the video last week, I apologise. The absolute noise and vulgarity of the speaking in it was disgusting. I've decided that it was to be pulled, but with the discussion with certain parties, it will stay up for now. But I am very sorry for the absolute trashy sound and disgusting language. That's all I can say. So I'm sorry about the video for last week.
So Darren, that's one of those things where if you have that sign on the bench and it says wet paint, don't touch, everyone goes and touches it. So now everyone's going to go and want to listen to your video because they want to know what the vulgar language was.
And for Wagyu, Wagyu's watching, I found this later on in the studio. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm not sure.
Put your hand behind it. More.
Prima Violets. Is it?
Yeah, Parma Violets. Yeah, Parma Violets.
It's still focusing on your face.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah. So that's Wagyu. I found that in the studio later on.
What is that? Parma Violets.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, horrible sweets. The taste of old ladies' knickers.
Oh,
if you've ever tasted that,
Andy, I'm not gonna ask you how you know what old ladies' knickers taste like. Now, Darren, I've noticed the LPs you've got above your 2TD3. So you've got Duran, and I can't.
Yes,
because it's a bit blurry. I can't actually read the writing on the other one.
It's Tori Amos.
Oh, Tori. Okay, yeah.
Paul Van
I thought
Dyke,
it said Tori.
if you remember that one.
I don't.
Both from 1996.
I know who Tori Amos is, but I don't actually remember that album. I don't think I ever owned a Tori.
No, it's not
Amos.
the album. That's just a 12-inch. That's
just a single, is it? Yeah.
Professional Widows. Paul Van Dyke mix, 1996, I think it was.
Oh, right. Fantastic.
You'll remember that if you was clubbing.
We've got a very boutique show today. There's not a lot of people on. There's about, according to YouTube, there's about 20 people on. And those 20 people are probably all in the chat room right now. So that's really cool to see them all. I don't really know if I believe YouTube's figures, because it definitely feels like there's more. But anyway, I think Native VS got the Guernsey this week. He gets to wear the yellow blazer for a week when he spelt music wrong and put a question mark after it. Sasquatch was second. Big hello to you gentlemen. Then we had Sonic Link, and Daniela was nice to have Daniela there. She just put I just made a little comment in the chat. She just put a €2 super chat through. So big thank you for that. We might check out her Bandcamp thing a little bit later. She's just telling us all that she's done her first composition. So exciting for Daniela, and yeah, we'll check it out. Future World Machines is there. Keith in Watford's there. Who else we got? JX3D, good to have you there, Henrik. JP Page 2, and scrolling, Martin Taylor. Inner City Toad is there. I think I said Future World Machines. I think I've said hello. Anyway, we'll just say hello again. Corrosive Abuser. I think Inky turned up a bit later. It's a big hello to Lisa. Yep, there she is. And then I kind of am scrolling and I'm just seeing all the same names. And it's really hard to pinpoint if there's anyone extra here. And usually as I get to the bottom of the list, that's when they all jump in and they say, me! I think Wagoo actually came in a bit later today, so big hello to Wagoo. And Dazza and Ben. Here they all come now. So big hello to everyone. And it's good, I try really hard to try and get everyone in that little bit, because it's worth it. It's worth it.
When you come in on the show, Wagoo.
Yes, when you're coming on. Good question. Let's get stuck into it, because we do have to get through the show. So let's hit this button and we'll start with the first segment. Funny side. I do apologise, by the way, if I do sound a bit nasally and a bit muffled. I've been suffering from a cold this week. No, I haven't got coronavirus. But yeah, spread the rumour if you like. It's probably a type of coronavirus, so you would probably be correct in sort of a technicality. But let's persevere. I might have a odd cough, but I'll make sure I mute myself before I do that. I've got a bottle of water next to me, so we're all good to go. Let's start with the first one. We are going to the end of the internet. And as it says on your screen there, stranger things can happen. Now, if you've ever ventured in Facebook, this sort of stuff happens. Now, I don't know if this is actually a screenshot that I took off of a Facebook group. You can see the Facebook group's name there. And the guy posts, "My peak keeps drifting out of tune. Is there any solutions to this?" And this reply was just gold, absolute gold. This is what I love about the social media network. It's just fantastic. It just means that your digital oscillators have reached a mature age and they now have become analog. It happens sometimes to a rare lucky few owners. Your synth is now worth twice the original price. Hello to all my fellow Novation Peak owners. You'll know exactly why this is funny. I like that one. And if that made me laugh, that's all that matters. Moving right along. Hello to all my UK viewers. If you've been watching the news recently, I've decided to make a meme out of this. Apparently, a neighbour got sick of asking his neighbour whether he could cut the tree, so he decided to cut his part. And I thought, well, while we're talking about cutting things, it's probably It's probably synth related. It's cut-off filter, isn't it? Synth related. Anyway.
Oh,
geez, how did that get there? Hang on, wait, hang on. There's got technical problems here. What's going on? Quick, take that off. I apologize. I don't know how that got there. Oh my God, get it off. What's going on? Sorry, I'm really sorry.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's got worse since you've ever created that or wherever it came from, because it's got silly in the last day or two with our politicians. I mean, honestly, they could all have that sticker on their back. I mean, particularly the health secretary. What a first-class knob. Right, seriously. I mean, okay, that's no more politics from Andy.
That's almost in the rant, that.
The funny thing about that particular thing is that I reckon he would walk around all day before someone would actually tell him to take it off, because he'd have that sort of support in his office. Let's move right along. I don't know how that got there. I do apologise, as I said before. Now, I do have one more. I thought this one was very cute. This is in the divorce office. Divorce? Why? You guys seem perfect for each other. She says she wants to date someone with no strings attached. And then she goes, he's a liar. Now, look, I won't harp on this, okay? I just won't be harping on this anymore. There you go. What's your favourite this week?
Oh, your harps. Yeah, harpeggiator that was.
That was quite harp of me to put that up, you know.
Why is Sasquatch going like that? Let's put him in. Oh, politicians shagging around? No, surely they don't.
Oh, they do. Have a look at the new deputy. Have a look at the new deputy prime minister of Australia that's just been announced, and then go check out his social media history over the last 4 years, and you'll have a good old read. Right, moving right along, we have the next segment, which is, I think, this button. Hopefully, it works. Yes, you've reached the news segment. We do have news, everyone. And it's actually good news, I think, because for those who've been waiting, the first thing that we've been told is the new Behringer OBXA is shipping, or not shipping, but, you know, going into production. I think they're saying. I should use the right terminology. And, yeah, I think the good part of that is that we actually do have a bit of information that's come out from the gentleman at Behringer. Let's have a listen.
For over a year now, the beta test team has been working really hard to get the sound of the UBXA absolutely nailed in every detail. It's a lovely instrument to play.
Oh. I've got to go change my pants. Wow, that was beautiful. The bottom end on that. Now, Darren, I'm just going to go straight to you because obviously you don't have any Oberheim stuff in your studio that I'm aware of. Anyway, unless you've been hiding out on me. How does that sort of interest you? That just listening to that.
Well, the sounds are lovely. The thing is, I can't play keyboards, so I always have. It's like I love the sounds of a lot of old synths, and obviously this is sort of Behringer clone. So I love the sounds. Yeah, it's I can't bring myself to buy keyboards like that because I don't play them. So unless I was just using it as sound source, which seems a bit for me to buy a big synth like that just for a sound source is a little bit daft, especially when you're not making money from music. But yeah, I love the sound of things like that. I mean, all the old classics, even though it's been, like I say, cloned, it sounds gorgeous, beautiful, low, lush. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could have one in here, just to use the sound and I mean, I can tap away on it. Yeah, I definitely have one. I like it. I do like it. Yeah. But I haven't got any of that.
What if they made a desktop version of it, like a module?
What, a rack mountable one? Then there's a good chance it could stick in my rack since I've got some rack space.
I'm not sure rack mount, but definitely some sort of desktop version. Anyway, what about you, Andy? How do you think of the
2600 is rack mount, isn't it? You've got yours in a rack. Darren's got his in a rack, so maybe they will bring out a rack mount one. Seems like a sensible thing to do. What do I think? I'm with you, Ranzee. That just sounded amazing, absolutely lovely, and full credit to the man. He did not play jump even close to jump once. Big thumbs up from me. So it just sounded amazing. It sounded absolutely lovely. I believe it will come out without the Oberheim logo and without the word OBX. It will be UBX, which I think is right. It's not an Oberheim synth. It's a homage to it, and I think that's the right thing to do. I'm glad they've done it. I'm glad they finally got it to market. And I'm actually, if I'm honest, I'm actually glad that they've taken the time to get it right. I mean, I know I said it before, but I'd rather it came out and was right than be having to, upload, firmware updates and things like that. I'd rather it was right from the off. So very much looking forward to it, and I might be extremely tempted by it. I'd said to me after this week, I said I wasn't going to buy any more Behringer synth stuff because I've got enough, and I might have to break my rule for that one. I've ordered the sort of I say remaining bits, a number more bits of the System 100 to go in the rack. They will be arriving on Tuesday next week. So I thought, right, that's enough Behringer stuff now. Concentrate on other things. But now they've done this to me, which is wrong. But I'm very glad it's there.
So yeah, Suzanne's just asked in the chat, do we know how much it's going to be? We don't. They haven't actually told us yet, but we would probably be guessing.
Seen Suzanne before? We have, haven't we? Yeah.
We'd probably be guessing.
Yeah, we know.
If we even mentioned the price. So I don't think we should. But look, it's not going to be overs. It's not. It's we know that Behringer will release it at a price that most people will just go, oh wow, that's actually affordable, and it makes sense. So other than that, we will just be guessing. Right, we are going to get on to the next thing. And the next thing was this. During the week, we had this live stream from the man himself. If you don't know who that is, if you've been living under a rock, he's one of the synthesizer godfathers of the world, and that's Mr. Jean-Michel Jarre.
Is it Elton John?
It's Elton John. Yes.
Elton John.
It's Elton John, yeah. And his mate, Michel Jarre. Anyway, so if you've been wondering who this guy is, he did the famous song Oxygen, and yeah, anyway, the concert was pretty good. It was very kind of techno, modern new wave, I guess. Bit of his old stuff sort of modernized, I guess you'd call it. But why don't we have a little bit of a look at what it sounded like, because I'm going to just bugger it. I'm just going to get myself a copyright strike because I don't mind. Who cares? And before I do get a copyright strike, I was too quick. What I thought you guys could do, just if you haven't done it already, is play Spot the Synth. Obviously, we can't do that on the show, but when you guys finish watching this, you could go play Spot the Synth. And I could only find two. Obviously, that one was pretty obvious. And the other one is the one he's actually playing mostly through the whole concert, which I believe is a Roland System 8. And I believe the way he's got the Roland System 8 set up is both as a controller and also as obviously it's sound generation, because it's actually a pretty great synth. And he's gone on the record a few times now and told everyone how much he loves it. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if Roland made him a version with Aftertouch, because he's such a nice guy. Did you guys watch that during the week? Anyone?
No, not seen that at all.
Darren, did you watch it?
No, I didn't. No.
Ooh.
So there's only.
It's only.
I was going to say there's only you that's seen it then.
Oh, okay. If you want a link, I can give you guys a link.
Stick it in.
Stick it in. Where did I put the link? I put it in the chat. I can't find it. I'll stick it in a bit later when I find it. I've obviously got the link here now my streaming software, and it's a bit hard to get it in the middle. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that part.
Before you jump on, Ranzee, can I just ask you, Suzanne Aston, who's in the chat, do you know Suzanne?
Do I know her? No.
Right, because Suzanne was on Dominic Hawkins' stream on Sunday evening. Now, she lives in Perth, Australia.
Oh, right. Cool.
Actually, comes from Doncaster, just up the road from me. I used to live in Doncaster, but now lives in Perth, and has started something called Synths by the Sea, and has got a nice little web page trying to encourage people to do synth jams down on the seafront. I can't remember the exact location, so Suzanne, if you can pop it in the chat, that would be great. And I thought it would be interesting as you're here to actually mention it.
I have a feeling I might have actually spoken to her once on Facebook, because the Bustleton name rings a bell. But yeah, she won't be able to paste links because unfortunately she's not a moderator. But
oh, okay, true.
If she jumps into Discord, and
I can put the link in, can't I?
Well, you can if you've got it. But the other option is to go into Discord, which is
link in now.
There you go. What we'll do is we'll check it out in a sec. Anyway, we need to get back to news. So
yeah, thanks, Ranzee. Sorry about that.
That's okay. The next one that we've got is this one, which kind of seemed to be a little bit of a leak that happened. I think it was either today or yesterday. I think it was today, actually. And it looks like Sweetwater may have accidentally published information about this before it should have been. I always think this is deliberate. I honestly do, because all it does is gets people talking about it. It's really good for the companies involved. It can't be damaging. I mean, this whole NDA stuff is rubbish anyway, to be honest. Anyway, if you're wondering what this is a joint venture with Sonic Potions and Erica Synths. Now, if you don't know who Erica Synths are, they're amazing Eurorack mainly, I'm not saying only, but mainly Eurorack manufacturer, and they do some really amazing stuff. I've got a couple of their modules here, which I love, the little Picos. But they also do a whole bunch of other stuff. And Sonic Potions have made this thing called an LXR before. It was a while ago, probably about 8 years ago or so. I remember it being a kind of DIY type kit, if I remember rightly. And I felt that at the time, I really, really liked it. There was a guy that you guys would know who he is, but I knew him before he was famous, and his name's Jeremy, and you guys would know him as Red Means Recording. He actually had one of these many, many years ago. He probably still has. And when he was doing more his music before he was doing his YouTube, he would use this with, I think he had a B model Access B desktop, and I can't remember the keyboard he had, and this and the Access Virus, and there was something else he had, but that was pretty much his sound, and he made some amazing tracks. And the LXR is a pretty formidable drum machine. Now, what's exciting about this one is it's got 6 voices. It's a digital drum machine with 7 sequence tracks, lots of effects, which is kind of similar to the original one. It has an 808 style, row where you've got the 16 steps across the bottom, as you can see. Each, from what we can tell from the Sweetwater leak, each step can have up to 8 subdivisions with 128 total within a single pattern. And you can actually morph between the presets, which is kind of like a merging of kits. And you can also load kits via an external SD card. When I say external, I mean it's internal, obviously, when you put it in, but you can take it out and load some files on there. Anyway, the 6 voices are specifically designed for drum production. The three voices are general purpose type noises, things like kicks, toms, percussions, and the other 3 are tailored towards things like subtractive stuff like snares and claps and FM percussion. And yeah, you've got a whole bunch of modulation envelopes and things like that in there. There's a thing called a transient generator in there. 1 second while I cough. And yeah.
Slick muting.
It was. Other than that, I can tell you that it's going to be about $589 US, and we're going to see if we can get some more information and some demos as soon as we can. There is no information at all on the Eric and Synths or Sonic Potions websites at this stage, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start leaking it pretty soon. There is another photo I can show you. Let me just grab that. Because we like photos. Let's just go to the blank screen there. And sorry, just give me a sec while I drag the photo in. Here we go. This is the rear of it. If you haven't seen this, you've got across the back, so from left to right, phones, main out, and just notice that there's a second out stereo, and they're both the 1/4 inch jacks. MIDI in and out, USB. The USB is used for, you can actually connect this up. If it's like the original LXR, you can connect this up to your computer and it'll appear as a drive, and you can load samples that way. I don't know if they're doing it the same way with this one, but that's how the old one worked. And obviously you can use the SD card as well. And then you've got a couple of Eurorack CV connections there. If you're wondering what the RST in is, it's actually a reset thing. So when you're using sequences in Eurorack, it's actually really cool to have a reset, a separate reset to a clock, because in Eurorack land, a start and stop is different to the way that MIDI works, and that's actually really cool to have. Anyway, it's got clock out as well, which is good, and obviously it's 12 volts powered off mains too. So yeah, guys, we'll start with Darren's a bit of a drum machine man. What do you think of this?
Am I?
Well, you are now, because I labelled you.
I wasn't sure. How big is it exactly? I can't quite work it out. I'm assuming it's probably about the size of a TR8, is it? At first, I thought it was a lot smaller.
Probably
about the size of your TD3, really.
Probably about, yeah. I was going to say probably about the width of your TD3 would be a guess.
I thought it was a bit more small. I thought it was, at first, when I first saw it, I thought it was something like sort of the Roland MC 101 type size. At first,
right?
Because I was thinking, oh, that'd be quite good for more, for going out, having a little kit drum machine and little synth and everything. But if it's bigger than that, then probably not. But yeah, it looks cool. Like you say, I like Erica synth stuff, so it looks quite interesting. I'd quite like it to have been smaller, so I could actually put like a small mobile kit together, and be battery operated type of thing. I thought that'd be. That's what at first I thought that's what it was actually. Because I was thinking, oh, that'd go well with, like, you've got circuit there and
does it run off
small
batteries
like
that runs?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it does it?
No.
It's 12 volt
mains power.
DC straight in.
The other one didn't either.
It's not a major
Alexa
issue, but with it being that big, it's like, So I would have liked it if it was a smaller version, like I say. But yeah, it looks good, and I like Erica synth stuff, so it's a drum machine at the end of the day, and yeah, cool.
It was pretty. If we're going off the original LXR, it was actually pretty intuitive, and you could actually do some pretty cool stuff on it. So if this is the second iteration of it, I reckon there'll be some even cooler features on here. Really be nice to see some demos. Obviously, we can't show you yet because this is a leak. But Andy, do you want to make a quick comment before we see what the chatties have to say about this?
Oh yeah, when I finish sneezing.
Do you want me to go to the chatties first? I'll go to the chatties first.
You're all right.
All right, okay.
Okay.
So, I think we're going to the chatties.
Have you had both jabs, by the way, Andy?
Yeah, he's dying from corona. No, he's not.
I've had both jabs. I've had both my COVID jabs. Yeah. I was thinking of whether the COVID jabs. Get going.
Just had a question from I think it was Martin. What unit can I use to reset? Lots of modules have reset in, but none with reset outs. I think Pam's has got reset out, and I think I'm just looking at my Eurorack stuff here. I actually thought that the Metropolis had reset out, but I don't think it does. It has sync out. I'm not sure. It's got a clock out and a sync out, but yeah, interesting. It doesn't have a reset out. Does the yeah, I don't really know what has a reset. I think pretty sure Pam's does. I'm sure there'd be a dope for module that has a dope for modules have just about everything. You could probably drive your car with a dope for module. There's probably a module that has CV controls of cars and stuff. Anyway, Andy, go to you now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back in it. What's going on with my bloody internet again? Anyway, right, yeah, I think it's a really nice looking box. I think it looks logical, sensible, and if Jeremy from Red Memes Recording liked it and rated it, even if it was in the past, it's probably a great thing. I'd never heard of it before. I was completely unaware of this, so I'd like to hear more. I'm just, you see, this is me. This is my headspace right now, isn't it? I was wishing it was actually a Eurorack module rather than a desktop drum machine. I mean,
yeah,
there are lots of desktop drum machines, and the market is, Behringer has made that market, very interesting right now. I mean, there's such a variety of things available and to come, that along with Arturia's offerings, that, blimey, what's all that noise?
And it is priced sort of leaning towards the upper, well, I won't say upper end, but it's definitely above mid-range.
Well, yeah, again, pricing's always going to be, but if it's Erica Synth, it's going to be built like a tank anyway, so it'll be super good quality.
Well, $589 US is
it's
not it's not that expensive. Yeah,
it's not. But it's like, say, when I thought it was going to be small, I was expecting it something about, I don't know, 300-ish smaller.
But I reckon it's like that.
Yeah,
it's probably like that. So it might be, what's a TD3? Yeah, it's probably similar, maybe a little bit smaller than a TD3. I don't know. Anyway, let's not get too sidetracked. Right. Okay. What else? We did have one other thing to look at. I don't think I had a video on that, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so the next thing to look at is this thing. Now, this is from a company called Endorphins. We do Eurorack modules, and I know I usually do show quite a lot of Eurorack stuff on my show, but I've been kind of trying to not show as much because I know there's a lot of people here that aren't into it, and I want to, I want to share the love. And so we do have to show these though, because these are actually really cool. And I kind of feel that this is nothing related to what we're showing here, but I kind of feel like there's got to be a couple of little cheap cases that people can just buy, that they can get a couple of little Eurorack modules like this, and it doesn't mean that they have to dive into a massive big Eurorack world, and then they can just use these things in their, as a module on their desktop or something. But yeah, talk about that in a minute. Anyway, what these things are is these a couple of modules. One's called Two of Cups, and the other one's called Total Recall. And Two of Cups is a 2-voice sample player. and it comes with 8 banks of 24 samples on a micro SD card, and it uses 8 or 16-bit samples with a 12-bit output bit rate. You can load a bank up on each voice and choose the sample manually, or you can choose it via CV, so you could actually use an LFO or something to choose your sample. Each voice has pitch and trigger control, when I say trigger, it's also gate as well. And you can also manually trigger them with the buttons you can see down the bottom there. It's actually pretty cool. I do have a little video we can actually look at. The demo at the start is a little bit sort of salesy, but let's just roll with it anyway, see what happens. So that's what it looks like. Now, this video is
Introducing two of
really
cups.
big.
6
So I'm not going to go through it, but she goes, and you can see the length of this video, it's about 7 minutes long. She goes into a whole bunch of details with this, and we could probably just pick something random here. Endorphins have got some great bits of gear, and obviously, you know, you could set up your whole Eurorack just with their products if you wanted to. Now, the other product I just quickly mentioned too, the other product that we're talking about is the Total Recall. The Total Recall is actually a little companion module that you can use with the Two of Cups. And yeah, what it basically lets you do is have voltage presets, and you can recall them. And it's actually pretty cool. It's like a macro CV generator. And it's got 3 channels. You can see the 3 channels there. And you use the 3 knobs to set the voltage values for each of the output at the top, and then you can save it as one of your 8 presets. You can then recall them manually, or you can actually recall them via CV. Like I said before on the Two of Cups, you can use an LFO or something like that to actually recall this sort of stuff. Now, there is another video that we could watch on this, but we won't do it just now because I need to load it up. But I just thought I'd just quick. That's actually quite interesting. Now, when it comes to Eurorack, there's a stack of sample modules. I've got the drums, the Pico from Erica Synth's drums module, and in that you can actually load your own samples in. It's a bit painful how to do it, but and that you can also use CV to change the trigger, and I think there's a bit of CV control on it as well. Not as much as this. You might have heard of the ALM Busy Circuits sample. It's basically called sample or squid sample. That's actually like a lot more in terms of Eurorack sampling. Sort of, you know, I think it's 8 channels of samples. So there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. There's heaps. Do we need another one? What makes this one unique is probably the question, or is it the fact that it's a fairly small HP form factor? Andy, what about you? Are you interested in starting getting into the sampling sounds on your Eurorack?
Yes. I mean, I've actually got already. I've got the VPME QD module, which will allow you to. What is that bloody noise?
That's Darren. Darren needs to be slapped.
It's me scoffing. Hang about, I'll mute myself.
You forgot to mute yourself.
Bloody hell, Darren. I was like in a sort of thunderstorm with lightning and everything. Right. Well, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the QD has the function to load samples in. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't got that far. I'm still messing about with the actual synthesis methods within it at the minute. But I'm also thinking about, my mind was going along the lines of the Tip Top 1 module, because that just seems like a very simple, straightforward one. You put your samples on a card, stick it in, and select them with a knob, and then trigger them with CV. I mean,
that's pretty much what this is.
Things much more complicated. But I mean, the Endorphins modules always look gorgeous. They just look really nice
with the gold lettering.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be interested in these. Certainly the sample playback one more than this funny CV preset thing, because I've not got to the stage where I'm even thinking about that sort of thing. So it may be a future thing where you go, oh, I wish I could save that routing from here to here so I can flick a switch and it'll all happen. But I've not got that far yet, you know, so they look gorgeous and I'm sure they're great.
I have to say that my favourite preset-y sort of CV thing so far is the Planner 2 from IntelliGel. I know it's a little bit more expensive, that sort of module, but it does more than just preset, save samples. CV control. It's more like a, you know, you can use it to, like I've shown you guys before, you can use it to control things, like a joystick. I think that's probably more a performance thing, whereas this is probably more sort of like set and use in different circumstances and then recall the presets when you need to. There's been quite a few, like Darren, there's the preset, what's the company that makes that? The Poly N do it, don't they? Yeah. The Eurorack preset one?
The presets. Presets. Yeah.
I think you were interested in that at one stage, weren't you?
I was. To be honest, I've not even looked at my modular for ages. I've been that busy doing other stuff. I probably won't even know how to switch the thing on or use it now. But I know as soon as I start, like Andy will tell you, since he's got hooked on it, as soon as I start, then that's my time gone. So that's why I'm very careful when I walk over. Well, I say walk over, I just have to do this.
But even using it every day, Darren, as soon as I rip all the stuff out and start again from scratch, I'm like going, oh, what? Where does this cable go again? Wait, hang on. I know I need to. If I'm sending a gate to the, I need to gate the envelope as well as the V. No, hang on a minute. What? And I just get in a pickle as to where all these bloody cables are supposed to go. And it's not.
Well,
I think I just get. I don't get frustrated. I get frustrated with myself at not understanding what to me should be basic. I'm thinking, I know how synthesizers work. I know what goes where. And then I go, no, can't. This isn't. Why am I getting no sound out of it now? What's the matter?
I think it's
part of me.
I think it's all in your state of your mind at the time, Andy, when you're all right.
Yeah,
I think it's all in the state of mind when you're all right. Because if you suddenly jump to the other rack and think, oh, I want to make some cool sounds, it ain't happening, and then you'll be really frustrated. If you jump to the Euro rack just thinking, I'll just mess about and see what happens, then that's when the fun begins.
I think you're right with that. Yeah. Trying to do something methodical is not always the best approach, is it? It's just going, oh, what happens if I plug that into there? Oh, gosh, how did that happen?
Yeah,
that sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah.
Right.
If I'm writing a track or something and I go, oh, I've got an idea for some sort of sound or some sort of sounds, I very rarely go to the modular because I'll either end up stuck in the modular for hours on end and not coming up with what I want. The modular is usually first. Oh, we're getting into a sort of, that's sort of the main show, isn't it?
Disorganized chaos.
Yes, disorganized chaos is always the best.
Yeah. In terms of news, we're actually finished anyway. So that was the news. Let's have a quick look at what the chatties have been talking about. Chatties, did you enjoy the news this week? Is there anything out of the in terms of products, there was the long-awaited news from Behringer about the UBXA, the Oberheim clone, coming into production. There's the LXR2, which is a joint venture between Sonic Potions and Erica Synth, the drum machine, and there's the 2 new Eurorack modules from Endorphins. Let us know if you've got a favourite out of those and which one's sparking the gas meter. And we'll get stuck into the next segment, which is always a favourite, apparently. This is what I get told. I have no idea why, but they're at it again. I've got some absolute beauties this week, and I don't know why they just keep coming and coming and coming. But first one was pretty much just me thinking to myself, I would love to own one of these.
Oh yes.
If you can't read it, it's an ARP Quadra. What is an ARP Quadra? If you don't know what that is, talk to me after the show. I'll tell you all about it. But the thing is, these things are so hard. Oh yeah, Tony Banks was the absolute genius on it, wasn't he? I think New Order had one as well. And before it got stolen or something. I mean, imagine the Pratt that stole it from New Order. Anyway, the ARP Quadra. It
might be that one.
It might be this one. This is Australian dollars, so you're probably looking at about 10,000, 9,000 US to give you sort of a similar sort of currency. That's a lot of money for a synth, really is. This is starting to get stupid with vintage synths. When you think about it, this thing was made late 70s, like 78, somewhere around there. It was quite complex. This would have very, very unique electronics, and it would be extremely hard to repair. So the only reason why I'm showing it on here is just this is a price watch segment, and I'm going, whoa, look at the price.
Oh, you've gone muted. Is everything muted? I can't hear anything.
Can you hear us? You looks like he's muted.
Yeah, I can hear you, Darren. Rants, you're muted.
Rant. He can't hear us, can he? He doesn't know
something's happened.
Ah. He's still going on.
Rants. You're muted. We can't hear you. Something's happened.
Is he? He's not even looking at us.
Oh, I don't know what's happened. Something's. Come on, the chat.
Are we just communicating with ourselves, Randy?
No. Rand's muted, says Inky. Inner City Toad, Ranzee, unmute. Wave frantically. We were, Robbie.
Yeah, I know.
Just wave.
Oh, hang about.
I'll shout. Think you'll hear me from here. Ranzee's pre-recorded. Very good, Ben. Rand's bot malfunction. Oops. Oh, Darren's got the loo. It's going to hold the cards for the rest of the show. Yeah, Bob Dylan style. Got one kind of... Yeah, can hear that, Ranzee. Can we hear you? Is your microphone muted? Is that what's going on? Oh, hey, oh, sound.
Sound? Have we got sound? I have to jump out.
Yeah. Pay a little visit.
No. Someone knocked on the door. I had to go and see what it was. I could still hear you, and then it disconnected me headphones stairs.
Well, we are. Audio has failed. Oh no! What does that mean? Do we have to jump out and come back in?
Yeah, but everyone can hear us though, can't they?
Rans. Yeah, I can hear Darren.
I think his microphone died.
That might be a possibility.
Yeah. He can still put us on because everyone can hear us. We can talk to him. that was his fault because what did he say? We've not had any technical issues.
Yeah, I told it. I said he put it. Yeah. That was tempting fate, that was.
Yeah, we've always
Hubris.
said this. Even from
Hubris.
yeah. From when we very first started, we have to stop mentioning bug issues because look what happens.
Yeah, it's just inviting problems. Fair Muso, this literally happened as soon as I know. Yeah, it's Robbie, it's all your fault. Oh, can they?
Yeah, someone said they could hear us.
Yeah, can hear us. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, we better keep talking over. We'll shout at each other over this music.
I don't know if they can hear us now, though. Now he's put the music on.
Oh, yeah, Darren, what did you have for your lunch?
I've not had any yet. All I've eaten is these
me neither.
things.
Well, that'll give you indigestion.
Yeah, they can. I know they can still hear us. So yeah, it says keep talking. Oh right. So have you been? You obviously not been feeling so good, Andy. So you've been off.
There we go. There we go. Let us know in chat if you can hear me now. Let us know. I don't know what happened then. Haven't restarted my computer. I've just restarted the streaming software. Let me know if you can hear me. I managed to keep the stream going, but had to just do a bit of a thing. Darren, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Rant. What did we do? They could all hear us talking together. We were having a good conversation with the chatties.
I don't know how long it went. Like, I don't know what part
As soon as Robbie signed in, it went.
Oh, it's okay. So Robbie's trying to like hack into the show and stuff. Hopefully Andy comes back in. I'll just tell him to. No. Andrew, yeah. Oh, I can't type underneath this.
Yeah, they were listening to us chatting away while you were muted, so they were just telling us to carry on talking.
All right, cool. So we are back, and I don't know where we got up to. I think we got up to the
Quadra,
the price watch segment, and all the videos that I was playing before are now replaying. God help us.
We reckon you was buying a Quadra, that's why.
Oh, okay. We got up to. I know what we got up to. We got up to the. So we're doing price watch, and we got up to this one, the Korg M1. So let us know in chat if you can still. Everyone's hearing us and all that sort of stuff. You can hear me talking about the Korg M1. I was just talking about how this one is £1,400. The key is damaged on the right hand side, and it doesn't play. And the number pad buttons don't work, and you can change the sounds and patches via up down arrows. Otherwise, it's a great keyboard.
Oh, fully working condition then.
So yeah, that one was brilliant. Anyway,
no one likes to post to Australia though, do they?
Yeah. Oh my God, there's been some news that has just come out. There's been some news. Let me just go to us for a sec. Andy, you can hear us, can't you, mate?
Yeah, I'm back in now. Ooh,
okay, good.
Hello.
Sorry about the technical glitch. I have absolutely no idea what happened. So yeah, that's weird. It's never happened before. Just the audio just all went dead on me, which is why I held that stupid sign up. Then yeah, the sad news is the news about Peter.
Ah,
yeah.
Has that just popped through? Has it? Yeah. Well, I went onto the Facebook thing just to see if there was a message from you, and I just saw that on Pro Synth Network feed. Robbie may tell us more. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I mean, if it's come from Robbie, I'm assuming he's got his sources. So if that is true, I mean, he was an old man. He really was an old man.
Oh, yeah, he was in his 80s, wasn't he?
Sad.
I think he was in his 80s. Yeah.
No, it might have been older.
Mm.
It's certainly a sad loss again. They're all
There was
many left now.
There was a picture of his setup that I saw in the post. So I'll have to see if I can dig up that picture and just remind people how amazing his setup was all the way back then.
Yeah, Robbie's just said yes, it's confirmed. We've lost this legend. Oh, yeah, that really is sad news.
That is really sad news.
Oh. Well, thanks for letting us know, Robbie. That's
88. Steve Elbow says
88.
88. He suffered a fall at home early this month and he never recovered. Wow. That is sad. Well, our condolences to Peter's family and obviously the synth world is mourning an amazing grandfather of our industry, and apparently I'm buffering.
Well, you're coming through okay on this.
Okay. Yeah, but yours is a different thing.
No, is it? Okay.
All right. Apparently I'm buffering. No, it says it's okay. All right. Geez, there's a few issues tonight with internet and stuff, and I don't know what it is. Nothing to do with anything here. It's just weird things happening out of my control. Anyway, we will go back to...
Yeah, that news might have come out native, but I hadn't seen it. I've only just seen it now on Pro Synth Network. So.
It's only just come out. It's literally only just come across my screen. So, mate,
did we cover the what did we cover? Was it the quadrasynth? Well, whilst I was not reconnecting.
Oh, we did the quadrasynth, then we did the Gear for Music TD3, then we did the Korg M1. So we've got one more to go, which is
we all left it. We all left at the Quadra. We see the M1, but we didn't see the TD303.
Oh, you didn't see the Gear for Music one? You didn't see this?
No.
Okay, so everyone would have seen the graphic and probably listened to me crapping on.
Yeah, there were no. Yeah, let's just go back a step.
This is definitely obviously a marketing glitch, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I said.
I love that lime green. That is good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad. Mean, people say they don't like green. I love it.
I feel like I've just done this.
Go do it again. Well, you had to rehearse.
You did to yourself.
Gear for Music, right? Gear for Music. Now, hats off to Gear for Music, because if they actually do sell one at £10,000, that's a pretty decent commission that salesperson would be getting. Anyway, let's get on to... I might have all sorts of error messages coming up. Let's get on to this one. I thought this one was great. Roland TR808.
Untested junk.
Untested junk. Now, this is the screenshot. I thought I'd take a screenshot of this listing, but I thought, no, I'm actually going to show you guys the live listing. It's actually too good to not show. This is the live listing. It's got some really, really interesting stuff written down below. It is a used item. There are some scratches. The display is a little hard to see, but considering the age, it is in good condition. Please check the photos. Since there is no usage environment at present, I will sell it as junk. Think of it as broken. Screws, line import, etc. are rusty. I bought this about 40 years ago. There is no volume on the 8th photo. There is no power on the 9th photo. There is no cover for the volume on the 10th photo. I don't know what that means. We'll check those out in a sec. Function. This is unchecked junk item. Voltage. Please check the power requirements. You'll need a transformer. It is just like the most...
Gear 25 quid for it, mate.
It's like the most pessimistic listing I've ever seen anyone ever do. Anyway, let's check out the photos. So he wants... for a piece of junk. Obviously, he's done some sort of research. Dear. Let's get some photos. Here we go. Oh, he wasn't wrong about rusted. Wow. Okay, so there, the power button's not even there. Flapper stick, eh?
Flapper. Ah.
Oh, yeah, that's what he was talking about with the tempo. Okay, I got it. There you go.
It's a piece of junk in working order anyway.
Doesn't look too bad
That
to
way
me.
I'm talking.
I don't think it looks too bad to me. You can buy that from Japan. The location is Japan, Japan. I actually didn't know there was a province inside Japan called Japan. Yeah.
Japan.
Where do you live? I live in Japan, where they make frangipans. We could start doing an old limerick. Frangipans in Japan. Pulling your pants down in pan. No, it's
Whoa!
Started now.
Let's not go there.
You can't leave us at the end of the second line of your bloody poem. That's just wrong. You've got to keep going.
This is completely off cuff.
Law.
It's
Limericks must be completed in public.
Well, don't you start limericks with "There was an old man who lived in Japan."
Japan.
Drop Palmer Violet.
I'd like two,
right.
please.
We have
I think
reached.
they're disgusting.
We have reached all the regular segments with glitches and technical problems. So, well done. And we lost half of the viewers.
Well, because you said we don't have any technical problems.
And I forgot to touch wood.
Yeah.
All right, we are now up to our regular segment, our main segment, which is music inspiration, I should say. What am I saying production for? Music inspiration. So, this topic was suggested to me by somebody who didn't want to be named, but they thought it would be a good idea for us to just have a general chat about what we find inspiration in when we're making music. And I think everyone's going to be different. So what I thought we'd do first, to just be something different, because we usually just talk ourselves, is I'm going to go to the chatties first. It's going to take about 10 seconds before they'll hear this. But I just want you guys in chat to just have a little think about the question, what do you get inspiration from? What is like one of your go-to things that you get inspiration from when you're
I got to write down answers again.
I can flag them here. I've got it in front of me on the. I've got the Microsoft Surface here, so you are good to go. And I'm just going to flag them as they come in. When you're telling me what they are, please highlight my name by doing @Ranzee in the answer. So tell me what your inspiration is and highlight my name, and then it will show up nice and clear for me. I'll try and catch the ones that can't do that, but yeah. So Sasquatch has started. Here we go. I just need to refresh this.
Yep.
Classical music and nature was Sasquatch's. Keith and Watford. It is multiple choice, yes. Dazza. All right, let's get some of these up as they come in. I need to go to here. And wait for that to scroll. Hopefully that will scroll.
Aussie pubs again.
Yeah, we just wait for that to disappear. It takes, I don't know why it does that. It's something that annoys me about this. Why don't I just read them as they come in? This thing is, the bubble thing is failing, guys. I'm just sorry. I wanted to highlight them, but for some reason it's just not working. Yeah. Anyway, so we started off with nature. What was it? Classical music and nature from Sasquatch. Keith in Watford said, just 3 notes. Failed Muso said, my inspiration is guilt from not using here. I've spent a ton of money I haven't got. Okay, so I think he meant to say gear. So he's saying he's got guilt from not using the gear that he spent money on. Okay. If that works for you, that's good. Wagoo's actually got a limerick. There was a young lady from Japan who, when aroused, in her pants fell a pang. She got quite a shock, and when an octopus ran amok. I don't know if we should be reading that.
Yeah, best stop there.
Go check out Wagoo's play. Jazz is the most inspiring music to listen to, Ranzee. It's not as good walk in nice weather tends to do the job. Okay, so he's saying a walk in nice weather or jazz from Native VS. Suzanne says just a sound. She just likes to find a sound. Good. If not, deadline is amazing inspiration. Okay. So Native VS is saying if you don't have a deadline. Martin Taylor says Wendy Carlos Clockwork Orange is where he finds inspiration. Lisa says Hardware Jams competition. Future World Machines says Guinness works for him. Fair enough. Sonic Link says generally the gear I come across a new patch sound and I roll with it. Goya says Jonathan Whitehead. Yes, I would agree with that. That is actually pretty cool. That's a pretty cool suggestion. If you haven't actually checked out Jonathan Whitehead, I would definitely recommend it. Martin Taylor's saying techno for Clockwork Orange. He's adding to it. Yeah, I can never get that bubble thing working very good. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. I'm going to have to write to them. Adamski says, bring on a night out and hearing what makes the dance floor kick off. That's a good idea. Go out to a club somewhere. Go out to a club. Yeah. Goy's saying Kubrick soundtracks. Daz is saying sometimes a musical concept such as a new scale or chord progression or this time I'm going to make the ultimate bass line. Ooh, okay. And then he says, never actually achieves the ultimate bass line. Daz's Pursuit. That could be a great name for an album. Daz's Pursuit of the ultimate bass line. And actually have an album which has no bass in it at all. That would actually really be cool. Listening critically to Afro-Cuban music, says Goya. Lisa likes the Guinness suggestion. Suzanne says, today vinyl piano was the sound, and it led to a whole day of, I'm going to have to pronounce that wrongly, tintinabuli.
Tintinabuli. The plural of tintinabulus.
Okay.
The sound of a bell after it's been struck.
Oh, that's
tintinabulation.
Well, you got me there. I didn't know. I learned something there.
The ringing of a bell. And Arvo Pärt.
Yeah. QRDNK says, the moment when you recognize your bars are playing in loop mode for greater than 1 hour. Yeah. I don't mind that, though. I actually don't mind that. You've got a cool sort of sequence going. You could listen to it on loop and just kind of slowly modify it as you listen to it. I think it's a good thing. I mean, other people probably wouldn't agree. Yes. Lars Ulick, hey? Limit yourself to 7 notes in any order, says Sasquatch. So we could play sevenths then. Cool. Awesome. Harmonic minor scale. Everyone's suggesting Guinness today.
Does he mean playing in 7/8 time? Is that what he means?
No, limit yourself to 7 notes.
All right.
When you've got one finger, you can't do too many notes.
So M Block is agreeing with you, Darren, saying the happy accidents in modular is a way of finding inspirations. Yeah. Yes. I was doing that the other day, actually. There's some more coming in. I'll keep an eye on them. Future World Machines says 808, 909, and 303s are inspiring to him. Suzanne's saying red wine or a claret does the trick. Yeah, probably does. A nice step sequencer. A 5-step sequencer. Yes. That's a good idea.
Oh, that's Buckler he's referring to.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Native VS. That's your Buckler system you got with its 5 steps. It's a great idea. I mean, it is, though. Odd numbers across even numbers always works really nicely.
And Marcus is saying inspiration comes from feelings more emotional than I am more inspiration I have. So if he feels more emotional, he feels that he has more inspiration. That's a good place. Like I remember talking to a couple of well-known musicians back in the day, and a lot of them said that when they wrote their best songs, they were in a very emotional place. So there you go. Sequences and FMing everything, says Sensing. Sequencing sequences and FMing everything. Sorry, I'll get it right in a sec. I know how to read. Wagoo reckons everything is inspiring. He was listening to Carbon-Based Lifeforms, Derelict's album last night when going to sleep. Never heard of them before. There you go.
No, it's a good album, that. Yeah,
So
that one as well, Wagoo.
One thing that happens that's really interesting, I'm sure all of us know this, magic mushrooms. If you do listen to music and you end up actually falling to sleep, and it's still playing while you actually go into that first stage of sleep, that the music actually becomes something in your memory as something that you will actually always go back to. It's actually a cool thing, unless it's absolute complete drivel and you hated it, but usually you wouldn't be listening to it if that was the case. You turn it off. So if you fell asleep to it, it meant it had some sort of ambience to it and it got you into that state. So you'll go back to it. It's an interesting experience. I actually find some sort of ambient type jazz does that for me. So I like doing that to that, like a very sort of, bluesy type
Just
jazz.
listen to the ARP.
Oh yeah, that will work.
Well, interesting, Darren. Yeah, that's a sideline. What's the go-to sleep music of choice?
Yeah.
I know exactly what mine is. I have 3 which are basically on rotation, and it'll come as absolutely no surprise. But Darren says the Orb, Ranzee says ambient jazz.
Yep.
My go-to sleep music of choice is definitely Tangerine Dream's Rubicon.
Oh, that's
followed
awesome.
then by Ricochet,
Yeah.
or followed by Phaedra.
See,
And
I
if I
mean,
get fed up with listening to those,
I'd be doing that too.
I go to Global
Yep.
Communication 78.31, so whatever that Global Communication album's called. I love that too. So those are mine. But
Okay,
basically
Global
Tangerine Dream,
Communications I
Rubicon,
didn't
it
think
just
of.
knocks me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the chatties, thanks for all those really, really cool comments.
Yeah, some good ones there.
Some of them were hilarious too, so it was excellent to see. Yeah, just talking about inspiration. So I sometimes I buy gear and I find myself stuck with it, and I think, why did I get that? Should I sell it, or should I persevere with it? And then sometimes if you fight it, the frustration you have with the gear, it may actually end up working for you. It doesn't always work like this. So sometimes the gear that you are having frustrations with will remain that way, and it's probably a good opportunity for you to move it on. In this case, though, for me, is the voltage block that I got from secondhand. I got it from my Euroracks by a company called Maleko. And I reached out to one of the forums that I'm in, and I said, look, how do I start with this? Like, I get what it does. I'm kind of not gelling with it. What's a good? And one guy just replied and said, look, all you got to do is just plug the gate outs into a whole bunch of different drum modules if you've got those in your Eurorack. And luckily for me, I've got 3. So I've plugged the first three gate outputs into those drum modules. And he said, then start mucking around with all the sequence features. So you could have it, clock divide, clock multiply. You can start working out all the different sequencer modes it's got: forward, reverse, random, Boolean, all that sort of stuff. You can then muck around with, probability, repeats. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. And once you start doing that, then all of a sudden, it just like the aha moment, the light globe in your head sort of, it was, this is what this thing does best. And then as a result, then you start adding the gates to more melodic stuff. Like I started using the rings module, which is mine, in my case, it's called the Ranzee. It's just here. And then you can use the CV track there's 2 CV tracks on the Varigate that you can use to actually send notes, pitch out. And so that was kind of a way of getting inspiration. So I thought I would actually say, sometimes reaching out to a forum or a group of people or some friends or whatever, and just putting a comment somewhere, just saying, look, I'm struggling with whatever it is, and hopefully if you've got someone that you know that's got a bit of an idea of what you're doing, they can come back and give you a suggestion. And this suggestion was a little bit out there, but I said, no, I'm going to try what he said, and it ended up sort of inspiring me into not liking the module, because I still find it a bit frustrating, but it actually inspired me into some ideas that I'm going to use. And I've got some ideas about using drums in a way that we wouldn't normally use them. And I'm kind of thinking about stuff. And that's cool, because all of a sudden you get that little sort of boost of inspiration and away you go. And that's kind of, that was mine this week. So what about you, Darren? Have you got one that you've had? I'm going to have to cough.
Muted, nicely. Have I got one? What particular the way I get an idea, or
a recent inspiration? I mean, you come up with tracks every week, right? Oh yeah, that was my water bottle.
Yeah,
you come up with tracks every week, so obviously you need to be inspired somehow to do them. A lot
That's
of
going to be
people
sampled now. Darren's going to put that in his track tomorrow.
yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't do it.
That was really poor. That.
Oh, I don't even know how I did it now.
That's not leaving much.
No tintinabula on that one.
Oh, maybe it was because I had the lid on. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
that, see, now sample
that's
that.
Better. Now it's like a gamelan orchestra in your own room. Marvellous.
Yes.
JX3D's just said, be careful with that mute button. It was not the mute button. It was some system failure. Anyway, Darren, over to you.
Yes. I don't know. I think, I can't remember who said it in the chat. It depends on your mood and your emotions, I think. Because
Marcus said that emotions.
That seems to dictate, I would say, the sort of more. I know it's hard to put styles on tracks these days, but I would say that dictates the sort of more feeling and the style to your track, or it does with me anyway. This week, whether it's going to be more ambienty or more dreamy or techno-y, that seems to, pull me to one way or the other. But as inspirations, I would say listening to the music these days doesn't give me the inspiration. It's either usually hearing a sample like you've just done, or just a few notes. It can be pretty much anything. It's hard to really put a finger on what suddenly inspires you to write certain tracks. I would probably stay with the emotion and how you how you're feeling when you're writing the track, because and happy accidents on the modular, but not so much me at the moment because I've not been touching the modular, so it can be happy accidents. Even what sometimes really does it is listening to if you've got a lot of samples on one of your hard drives, old stuff as well, stuff that you've probably not listened to for donkey's years. Go back through them and just listen to samples. That can spark inspiration for me. A couple of my tracks have come from some old samples I may have done, I don't know, years and years ago. Also, all samples that I've got from years and years ago, and something in it just tricks you off onto a complete tangent that you wasn't going to. Andy playing his ARP a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
listen to. I mean, how many tracks have I done from the show? I've done I Hear You, Andy's ARP, Inky's track. So, and your track. In fact, actually talking to that, I was listening to your Gate 1, that remix I did for you, that Gate 1 in the car today, and that was sparking off inspiration. So even old tracks that you've done can spark inspiration as well.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like that. And listening to stuff in the car that you've done, and then, that's not a bad one. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, sometimes you hear melodies and stuff that you've done that it's not actually in the track, but it clashes with. You sat there listening to the car. Like I said, I was listening to Gate 1. I mean, how long ago was that now? Last year? Oh, it was ages ago. And you're hearing melodies that sort of are not there, but they're coming in the track that you hear in the car. And That's great. I mean, I've got a few ideas from that. So, yeah. Sorry, carry on, Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
I sort of concur with what Darren said about what I listen to these days doesn't necessarily make me want to jump in and start making tunes. I like to think about the significant pieces of music or musicians which have influenced me over time and pushed me in particular directions. And there's a real good list of those, and I still find their music inspiring and awesome to listen to today. And the first one I'm going to list is Rachmaninoff. Now that sounds very highbrow, but the reason for that is as a little boy listening to my granddad playing the piano and playing Rachmaninoff Second Piano Concerto just on his upright piano in the front room. My grandfather was that good a pianist; he could do that, and that was like, oh, I want to be able to do that. I've never succeeded, never got anyone even close, but that was a starting point. And then obviously learning classical piano, then really getting into Beethoven. I mean, every day has Beethoven in it. There isn't a day goes by when I don't listen to some Beethoven at some point because I just think he's ace, absolutely brilliant. You know, just a full-on heavy metal classical composer. I just love Beethoven. And then going through life, the things which have kicked me off into directions, the most significant of like modern stuff is Ultravox. Now that might not be the most coolest thing to name, and everyone when they mention Ultravox will always talk about John Fox, but for me it was Ultravox with Midjour, because a friend of mine brought round a tape and said, "Listen to this. I'm sick of classical music at your house. We'll listen." And I went, "Oh, yeah, synthesizers." And that was what I loved it. I just love. I got really into it. I thought, right, I'm buying my first synth, and it was Ultravox that put me into that particular direction, and I got then really into electronic music as a result of that, and that's how I discovered things like Tangerine Dream. Although Tangerine Dream wasn't an immediate love. I bought, but the first album I bought was actually Rubicon, and the first time I listened to it, I thought it was a bunch of just drivel. Didn't get it at all the first time I listened to it. Um, it and again, that will bring me on to another point I'll come to later if you can bear with me. And going down the line, the next major artist or group which set me off in a direction was 808 State, when a friend of mine actually played me 808 State's Pacific album, Quadrastate album, and 90. He introduced me to that. I was aware of sort of house and techno and that sort of thing, but he was the person who said, you love this, and that really kicked me off. That introduced me to that whole world, and then I got really, really into it. I'd already heard things like, Mars and Adamski's music, and Baby Ford was another one who I really got into at that time. If nobody's heard of Baby Ford, go away and listen to his early acid tunes from about 1988. They're great.
Yeah, I got his
so
album.
all those together, four tracks. It's great, isn't it? But it was 808 State in particular, the ones I would stick the pin in, and then Orbital, because Orbital to me made me realize that dance music can be even more sophisticated and interesting and intelligent, and then all the Warp stuff, Aphex Twin, and all of that sort of thing, and they were the sort of the stepping those musical in points, if you like, in my life, and they still hold a lot of significance for me. So yeah, that's what I still sort of fall back on, and every now and again I'll dig the things out and go, yeah, it's still great, and I still find it inspiring.
So lots of different musicians.
Crashing by Baby Ford says I don't. I said the other Adamski in the chat. I'm sorry, I was thinking about Mark, whatever his name is, Adamski, but anyway, our own Adamski suggests Crashing by Baby Ford is a great suggestion.
I think Humanoid Stacker as well.
Tinley. They're talking about the Tinley Adamski.
Indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Stacker Humanoid. Yeah.
Oh, Stacker Humanoid is awesome.
Yeah. Well, they're Future Sound of London, weren't they? Basically.
They were,
well, yeah.
What was his name?
Well, you mentioned it, Future Sound of London.
That's it.
Yep. Absolutely. But yeah, we could go on and on, couldn't we?
Future Sound of Manchester.
Yeah. The guys in chat,
them and all too, whoever they are.
the guys in chat are talking about what time they go to bed and waking up. So I'm not sure if that's any sort of relevance to inspiration, but maybe it might be. Maybe an early night might help you next time instead of going to bed at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. in some cases. Wow, it's almost like I'm going to beat you. I went to bed at 8 a.m. No, yeah. Anyway, what I might do next is just quickly.
Meat Manifesto, Renegade Soundwave.
we did-
So we're getting all these things coming through from that period. Everybody loves them, don't they? We all do. Sorry,
do.
I'm off on one now, Rant. I'll shut up now.
No, you don't have to
Get
shut
a
up.
word in edgeways.
You don't have to shut up. We like you. You're allowed to talk. But what I thought we would do is we'll just quickly just sort of have a little segue into Danielle's stuff that we were talking about in the chat before. And this is the Romanian dance Hora Staccato, which looks actually really, really cool. So now I don't know if this is actually going to work if I play it. So you guys are going to have to let me know if the audio is coming through. So let's give this a whirl.
Yeah.
Wow, what a big ending that was. That was really entertaining. Really entertaining.
That was mental.
Yeah.
I think Shatter Go as well.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I definitely tagged her, so if she's still there, she's still there. If she's not, she's not. Anyway, she can watch it on the replay. She's a regular now. That was well done. Definitely, I would definitely admit that's not something that we've played before, that type of music, and I'm very open-minded to music, so I'll listen to anything.
you could hear it was
I
made
heard a
up of
tune in the
sample
first few minutes.
things, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely like some sampling going on there. You could hear it. In
No, man, I was thinking of sampling some bits I heard there. I had a great idea about a quarter of the way in.
Right. Okay. I was actually thinking that you could hear samples in it as well. So, but yeah, no, it was good. And the Bandcamp page actually looks pretty cool too. So definitely like the face painting and the artistic side of it. So well done
for me.
Yeah, well done.
I'm the same, man. There, I can't create some artwork at all.
It was kind of what you heard though was kind of a lot of the traditional sort of instruments in it, and I would love to sort of take that and go down with a bit more sort of electronic vibe. That would actually be quite interesting. Use some sort of wavetable synth and FM and just really kind of maybe a subtractive synth in there and just see what it sounded like if you did it like that. I remember I did. Probably would have been about 10 years ago. I actually redid one of the Bark tunes, and I used a whole bunch of synths that I had here, and I went to the point of, making up these patches just out of absolute thin air, and some of the patches were absolute rubbish, and then I threw MIDI at it, like all the different instruments that Bach would have had, and just wanted to hear what it sounded like when I recorded. It actually sounded amazing, and it was just purely probably luck. But I mean, yeah, stuff like that would actually be pretty cool. Yeah. There you go. There's some inspiration for us.
Sasquatch has just said if you buy the track, you get the MIDI and the stems, etc. That's
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, she was saying that in the chat before. Yeah, she told everyone that before. Cool. Yeah, that's okay.
So they can do your own thing with it. There you go, Darren. That'll cost you €3.
It's a Romanian folk song played by shepherds on their flute. The instrument also has a 1500-year history. Wow. And they don't follow chromatic scales, which is what Dazza was saying in the chat as well. It's interesting scales. And I like that sort of stuff as well. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone could pick what sort of scale it is. I actually can't pronounce the acrylic in there, but yeah. Anyway, interesting. Very interesting. And that, I reckon that would be some fun party sort of stuff. You know, even if you think back like 1500 years ago, they still would have been having some fun party stuff back then, getting us stuck into the malt, the mead and the malt.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know how you guys react, but hearing that sort of style of Central European music played at that speed, and particularly the slightly out of tune pianos, honky tonk kind of piano sounds, just makes me think of sort of Keystone Cops movies and things like that, which of course is deliberately comic. But I thought that's not intended to be comic. It's a cultural reference. And I just thought it was really great. I thought it sounded fabulous. Really interesting sounds, really interesting rhythms. Great track.
I mean, just looking at the. I keep going back to the page, but I was picturing them dancing, you know, with all their hair and their capes and, you know, everything just sort of flopping about, because it was quite moving. The music was quite moving, so you can imagine them sort of kicking their legs and hair going everywhere and that, and it would have been quite a spectacle. So yeah, excellent. So we're at where we're at. We've kind of talked inspiration. Tell us in the chat if you think there was something that we should have covered, and you know, if that's something that you're watching this now. Obviously, you can't tell us if you're watching the replay. Bit of bad luck. Maybe next time join us for the live show. If there's something that we haven't covered and you want to talk about in terms of inspiration, you know, sometimes we can, you know, go down these what they call writer's block paths, and we talked about it before on the show. And I think, you know, we've had some really good sort of comments already. Like Andy talked about his favorite music, and a lot of that goes back to his, you know, earlier days. We talked about.
Yeah. I wasn't necessarily meaning my favorite music of all time. I mean, my favorite piece of music of all time, the one piece which I would have with me on a desert island and nothing else, would be Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. That would be my one. Right, not Beethoven, not Rachmaninoff, not 808's Day. I'd have Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, because that to me is just the business. There was something I said I was going to go back to, and now I can't remember what it was. I said I was going to go back to. Forgot what it is. Oh,
Sasquatch has asked all of us: does Behringer's marketing work? Well,
because we've all bought loads of it.
Anyone's marketing would probably work. I mean, you know, if that's something that you're interested in, that anyone's marketing would work. Like, I mean, I'm already gassing to see what that new LXR thing is from Erica Synth. I think that drum machine's gonna. Believe me, it doesn't look like anything major, like if you've never seen it before. But once you've seen this thing in action, it takes on a completely different persona. It looks like a box with knobs and buttons on it right now. Once we get some demos of that, you watch. That thing is incredible. Yeah, I would probably say that their marketing does work, Sasquatch. Now, I'm not the sort of person that gets political about, you know, Behringer hating or Behringer loving. I don't really care about that sort of stuff. It's not really for me. For me, it's a tool. If they make a tool, if that company was called Big Red Orange, you know, I'd still buy Big Red Orange synths. It doesn't really matter who they are. If they make a particular tool and it's the price I want to pay and it does what I want that's where I'm at with it. I don't have sort of loyalty. That's probably a good
But
topic.
Rance, you've
Do we
already
have
bought
loyalty?
the big red orange synth. It's called an MS1 or an MS101. That big red orange synth. You've already got that. You've already bought it.
Yeah, big orange synth. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad synth. We've taken the thing apart. It's I've got a friend who's got an SH101, and it's literally no worse or better than the SH101 was made back in the 80s. Those things were made with plastic. And Darren's got
Just
one.
out of interest, how many orange synths can you name? I think I can only name a Waldorf.
Yeah,
there was a Waldorf. Was it a Q
the
or
Q?
an
Yes,
X?
it was a Q. Yeah, I think we even showed it on
Any
the
other orange
Price Watch
ones?
once. They're actually
Yeah, we
quite
did.
rare. Those ones. Orange synths. I mean, your kind of red would be your Nord, your claviers. They would be the sort of go-to ones. I don't know. Orange. I mean, who's ubiquity sort of orange? No, there was a yellow, but there was a Wagyu saying it was yellow. There was an orange one, and it was rare, and it was kind of like there was like a limited edition on it. Yeah, Sasquatch is saying Behringer's marketing gets people talking about Behringer. It's all deliberate. They're a big company, so they want you to do this sort of stuff. And even you now, even asking it, it's happening. Microwave XC, okay, fair enough. Dave Smith's Mofo, yeah, that was probably more yellow than orange, I would say. But yeah, at what point does yellow become orange and orange become yellow? That's a good question.
How much you smoke over it?
Yeah, bromide. Yeah, the old 80s gear that we've got that used to be white is now this horrible yellow smoker's fingers color. Yeah.
Let's not go there. Makes me feel very guilty.
Yeah, I just can't think of any.
Fusebox. Yeah, Steve Elbows. Yeah. Fusebox. Good shout.
Okay, Fusebox. I haven't seen that one. We talked about pink synths a while back because of Lisa, and we thought there wasn't enough pink synths in the market. So there you go. You're probably coughing. You're probably finding the colours that they don't choose so many of out there in the world. I think we probably have done the show to death this week. I mentioned before, right at the start, if you just sort of tune in, you missed the pre-show, that we will not be having a show next Saturday. I do apologise, but I've got children home for school holidays here where I am, and we've got something that I've booked a long time ago, and I can't make it to the show, so I'll just have a week off, and you guys can have a week off as well. You never know, it might be beautiful weather where you are next Saturday, and I'll be, I don't know, having a beer or whatever I'm doing at this time, and I'll be thinking about you guys, and obviously I'll be back the week after. Yeah, thanks so much to Andy and Darren for coming on every week. They do it out of love. Make sure you guys don't forget to give them a thumbs up, because they're the ones really that you guys are here to see. You're not really here to see me. It's really, really good to have you all. And obviously, because I'm based here in WA in Australia, it's getting quite late. It's 10:40 p.m. here now. So whereas you guys have still got a good chunk of your Saturday still to go. So yes, I will probably. Suzanne's asking me if I'm going to go down south. I probably will in the holidays. I probably will. I don't know if I'll bump into you, but I might. But definitely hit me up on socials. You'll be able to find me pretty easy.
It'd be cool to get Suzanne on if she's willing to come on.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So quick goodbye from Darren.
Goodbye.
Any messages before we go? TTFN.
Yes, I'm just very, very, very sorry about last week's track. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See,
that's like Behringer marketing.
Wrong with it? Is that what
yes,
he's doing?
But the thing is,
I listened to it. I thought it was a great track.
It wasn't meant to be in here. That's the problem. He was intruding in the space that he should not be in, and swearing at the mic, which is just not on. And I've told him I'm going to take the video down with things like that. So we'll have to see whether he whether he behaves himself and can come back again.
You have to go watch his video. He's being a bit cryptic. You do have to go watch his video.
I did watch it. I didn't notice anything out of order. Maybe I'm just immune to that sort of thing.
Maybe
he was very swearing though. His mouth was vulgar. He had a bit of a
potty mouth. Is that what you guys call it?
Yes.
Fair enough. And Andy,
he's a bit of a criminal.
Andy, your turn.
My turn. Oh, right. I've got a plan. Just a little plan on trying to use Cakewalk a bit more and actually doing some multi-tracking of the modular. I haven't started doing it yet, but I'm actually going to intend to do that through next week. If I am feeling better, because I've just not felt up to sitting down staring at things and concentrating too much. But I'll see what I can manage. And
yeah, no, you need
if
to
anybody,
and
I need to do this artwork. I'm just hopeless at artwork. It never looks right. It always looks like just a 12-year-old's just put a few random things together, and it just annoys me because I'm really not any good at that sort of thing. So, but I'll keep trying. And when I've got, because it needs to have a bit of artwork on it, or it's just an empty box, and that just looks naff. So I'll see what I can manage, and then hopefully the stuff will be available for people to download on Bandcamp. It'll be available for free, so it's not going to cost you anything to have a listen. It's all pretty ropey, but there you go. It's there nonetheless.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, guys. Well, I am going to hit the magic button. See you guys all in about 2 weeks' time.
Take care, folks.
See you later.
In 2 weeks.
Toodaloos.
I'll take care. I'll stay safe.